Jerry again with Ray's Ministries and PastorRays.com. I've got my faithful friend, my amigo, Champa is our video man today. We wanted to show you something we're working on. Until this year, I've really not had much help. I did about 4 or 5 years ago. Had a volunteer when I was still pastoring, but when a lot of that ended with COVID, and so last year really didn't get anything into these gardens much, a little bit of squash. But now that we've got Champa and Morgan here helping me, we're mounding up this garden. You can see we don't have a border per se at these gardens. So I had them built up probably about 2 feet, maybe 18 inches. Now you can see they're up pretty good. I'd say, I don't know, maybe 30 inches, maybe a little more, 32. But we've got some rich mulch that I've allowed to compost for about a year. And now we're putting this manure. It's got lots of nutrients in it. This is rabbit manure, which is really mild. Got a lot of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in it. And we'll put this on here. We're just going to document it a little bit for you as we build a new garden, virtually a new garden. The grass, I hate to admit it, but it had taken over these gardens. When you can't deal with them on a regular basis, some weeds are just so prolific. But with the use of mulch, as we teach, if it can't get light, it can't grow. It can't. The weeds can't germinate. The grass won't grow. So we put another foot of composted mulch here, and now we're putting in our rabbit manure mixed with a little bit of hay for a top dressing, and we're going to cover it with black plastic after a while. So we want you to see part of this process. And Morgan and Champa, they lined it out so that we can keep our distance 4 feet wide. We never step in the garden because that causes compaction. And this way you can reach over a foot and a half, 2 feet. You can do all you need to do. This is going to be great for things like strawberries if you don't like to bend as we get older. And I hate to admit it, but you get a little stiffer, you get a little more cricks in your back. So this would be great for squash and for lower growing plants. Obviously, last year we had 9.5 foot okra, so that wouldn't be feasible here. But for low things like eggplants, some smaller peppers, it's great to garden this way. You just reach over, you can weed, you can do what you need to do, prune, pick, harvest. I've done this at a few convalescent homes, rest homes for folk that are in wheelchairs, and it works great as it's often called horticultural therapy or agritherapy, and they can reach over if they're confined to a wheelchair and can do their gardening. So once again, this is Pastor Jerry with PastorRays.com and RaysMinistries.org. We hope that you'll learn something from this, and it is March the 16th here in North Carolina. While you watch this, we're not going to plant before April the 15th because that gets into an area where you don't get into much frost. But as you may know from some of the previous videos, 2 years ago, I planted on April 15th, tax day. There was like 0.01% that it would get down to 33 degrees. On May the 15th, it got down to 27. A killing frost killed everything in the garden, so we had to start over. We will start earlier, but we'll also have seedlings and plants that I'm germinating every 2 weeks, so that if we have a killing frost, we'll have viable large plants ready to go in a day or two after any not hoped for frost. Anyway, this is Pastor Jerry with Champa and Morgan saying goodbye and God bless you.